Alright guys, so welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about adjustments. So today we're going to go over a house shot and how to adjust on a typical house shot based on the pins you're leaving, the shots you're throwing. So throughout this video I'm going to go on to the lanes and I'm going to be bowling on a house shot, and I'm going to walk through the shots that I'm throwing and the adjustments that I make. So we'll see a difference between some good shots, some bad shots, and how to get yourself lined up in the correct area so that you can score better and raise that average up in the future. So guys, stay tuned. Also, be sure to subscribe because we've got this number and I want to make it look a lot better. So let's get more people subscribed that are watching these videos. Be sure to subscribe down below. We just hit 700. I want to say thank you to everybody that has already subscribed. But be sure to subscribe if you're new or if you haven't subscribed yet. It's free. Show some love. Hit that button down below. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about adjustments, and I've put out a typical house shot, freshly oiled, for you guys to explain what that I do when I leave certain pins standing. So we've got a fresh house shot, like I said, and I'm going to start at 12 at the arrows and then kind of go from there. So once you get lined up, I've gotten warmed up. I've thrown about 10 shots so far, and so now that I'm lined up and warmed up, I know the best miss room is going to be right at 12. That's where the cliff is on this pattern, and that's where you want to play because you have the miss room right where it's dry and you have the miss room left where it's oily, so it'll hold. So let's start at 12 and kind of see what happens here. So, as you see there, it went a little high. It left a 9 pin. I nailed 12 at the arrows there, so that's good. So now, I left a 9 pin. So, if you leave a 9 pin on house shot, that tells you that you went a little bit high. Not much, but just a hair. So, the good news is, we can adjust for that. So now, the adjustment that I would normally make on a house shot during league with 5 people on a team or 4 people on a team, depending on where you're bowling, and they're going to break down much faster than I am here just by myself. So in a league, I would make a 2-and-1 left off of that hit. So we're going to move our feet 2 boards left and our eyes 1 board left. So now we're looking at 13. Now I did miss a little bit left, got it in the oil, that's why it flat 10'd. I hit 14 at the arrows, so it was a board left. And because of that, it had all that oil there in the middle, and it just rode that oil and didn't have the energy to finish through the pins properly. So we're going to stay there, and we're going to throw one more shot, see if we can throw it a little better. All right. Once again at 13. So as you see there, I nailed 13 at the arrows, just what I was looking at. And I'm trying to get it to about 6 or 7 down lane. That's probably the best spot. 8 at the furthest left, down lane at the tracers. But for that shot, I nailed 13. I still left that 10 pin. It was a ringing 10 this time. So now, I want to see what happens if I move my feet half a board to the right instead of staying there because it's 10 pinning. Let's move half a board right and see if we can get the ball to go through the pins a little bit better. So still looking at 13, just half right with our feet. And that was a really good shot, and it got out that 10 pin as you see there. It got it right out with the 6 pin hitting the 10 and chopping it out. So that's a really good sign. So now that we've seen that, we can keep on looking at what it's doing. So I'm going to throw one more shot from that spot right there, and then we'll go from there. All right, so same spot, still looking at 13. I just moved that half board right the last shot, so we'll stay there. Oh, and I missed right. So as you see, there's a couple different things that happen there. I missed right, obviously, but I sent the ball right off of my hand. So what I mean by that is I sent the ball straight that way, right off my hand, and it hit all of that dry spot that's there, where there's less oil on the outside. It ran right into that and it hooked early. So, because that was such a bad shot, we'll take the Brooklyn, but we'll stay where we are with our feet and eyes. See if we can just throw it better. And that was a great shot. So, always remember, if you throw a really bad shot like that, you don't have to adjust off of it, and in fact, you shouldn't. The reason that you shouldn't is because it doesn't give you a good read on what's actually happening out there. It only tells you where your misroom is or isn't. So if you throw that bad of a shot where you're like 3 or 4 boards off of target, I wouldn't adjust. But if you throw a shot where it's within a board of your target and you see it hook like that, then I would definitely adjust off of that, just because then it tells you that the lanes are hooking. But just for the purpose of this video, we're going to make another 2-in-1 left. So now we're looking at the 14 board at the arrows. And now you can see that was a really good shot. So if I was playing right there and I throw that shot and I see that ball reaction, I thought it was really good for the first like 30 feet, and then it really hooked on the back end. So now we see that I left a 4-pin. So okay, so you're leaving a 4-pin, so that's a little bit high, kind of like how that 9-pin was. So now we've left a 4-pin, so now we need to adjust. So now, because of that, we're gonna go a 2-in-1 left. Once again, so 2 boards left with our feet, 1 board left with our eyes, puts us at 15. Whoa, all right, so now I hit 15 at the arrows, and you can see there's a little something there that really made that ball hook. So I threw a really good shot, hit 15 like I wanted to, and got it right where I wanted to down lane as well. I hit about 8 down lane, which is where that I was aiming, and because of that, the ball really hooked high. So we're gonna take an adjustment here, but we're gonna make a bigger adjustment this time. So now we're really getting left into the oil. To explain, we left a 6-pin right there, so that means we went even more high than we did with the 9-pin and the 4-pin. So because of that, we're going to take an extra measure left. So we're going to combine the 2-in-1s that we've made and make a 4 and 2 here. So now we were there, so now my feet are on 35 and I'm looking at 17. All right, but now we see something. So I did send that a little bit further right than I wanted to down lane, but only by about a board. So we're gonna use that information. The ball did not hook back from there. So now we've seen both sides of it. Okay, I've got the ball over hooking when I'm here, but I've got the ball not hooking enough when I'm here, which is great that now we're figuring this out. So that 4 and 2 that I made looks like it might have been just a little bit too much and I would have over adjusted. So because of that, we can make another adjustment to fix that 2-pin that we just left and get the ball going through the pins a lot better as well. So what are we going to do? We're going to reverse that 2-in-1 that I just made and move our feet 2 back right and our eyes 1 back right. So now this is going to put me at 16 at the arrows instead of 17. So I'm moving them 1 right, my eyes. All right. All right, so as you see there, I did not get the ball right at any point in that shot. It was a bad shot, but good news. Because we had the information of that it's not hooking right there in that big puddle that it appears to be, which is typical for your house shots because there's a lot of oil in the middle, a lot of dry on the outside. Because of that, we now have seen that there's a lot of hold right there, so that's a good sign. But we want to throw a good shot just so we know that we're in the exact right spot, although that's a really good sign to start. All right, so looking at 16 now. And that was a great shot. That was right on 16, came off my hand just the way I wanted it to. So now we've seen So now we've seen when I hit 16 but keep it in the oil down lane, it holds. When I hit 16 to 8, it strikes, it gets the 10 out, so that's really good. So now we're going to throw one more shot from there and see if it's consistent. And I would certainly argue that it is, because that was a really good shot again, and it went through the pins even better. So now we've seen where we have the dry on the outside and the hold in the middle. So now we can utilize both of those. This is where players will say, oh, I'm playing the hook or I'm playing the hold. It just depends on how you're attacking the lanes. So for this right now, I would consider myself playing the hold, because I know for a fact that if I miss left down lane, that it's going to hold and hit pocket, you know, obviously by a certain amount, but it definitely is, and that's a really good feeling. So now, let's, just for fun, make a zone change left and see what the ball is doing. So now I'm going to go 6 and 3 left, so now my eyes are at 20, middle arrow. Excuse me, 19 is what I meant. So, as you can see there, it looked really bad. I missed the head pin to the right whenever I sent it right. That's a bad sign. I want to throw one more shot from there to show you guys something. So, with that, I'm going to stay in the same spot. Keep my eyes at 19. I accidentally said 20, but I meant 19. Because we were at 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. So, eyes are at 19. Let's see. See, I threw it straight to the dry and I didn't get any of it to come back. So this shows you a clear sign that you are too far in the oil. What I mean by that is you've moved too far left and now your ball is not hooking because there's too much oil in the center of the lane. So how do you get out of this? Well, your first thought should be, I need to move to the right. So we're going to try some little moves and see how close we can get. So we're going to go 1 and 1 right. So I'm going to move my feet 1 board right and my eyes 1 board right to 18. There's a good shot. I did slow that one down just a touch. I think my subconscious did that because I knew it wasn't going to hook. But I did slow down just a little bit. And I hit 18 at the arrows. I got it to, I would say, probably 6 or 7 down lane, it looked like. And we saw that it struck. But how repeatable is that? How consistent can that be? Well, let's find out. I'm going to throw another shot from the same spot. It's crazy how a little adjustment can bring you right back into pocket from missing the head pin. But is it consistent? Well, as you saw there, we flat 10'd. Why did we flat 10? Because there's so much oil still in the front part of the lane, it hasn't broken down enough for me to be able to play there properly. So because I'm not able to play there with this ball and in that spot, it's going to go through the pins a lot worse than if we were that zone right that we were in a minute ago. Which, by the way, a minute ago, before we made that zone change left, that 6 and 3, when I was looking at the 16 board, I would absolutely say that that's where I would want to play on this pattern because it's looked the best out of all that we've done so far, and I really liked it. So for me to play the best and most favorable area to my game, it would be hitting 16 to 8, just like I did a minute ago. So I'm going to go back and throw one more shot from there and see what it does. So now we're going to move all the way back to where we were, hitting 16 to 8 here. There you go. That was a much better shot, and it even went a hair high and stoned that 7-pin. High flush 7-pin, it happens. But there's a way that you can adjust for that to kind of keep you in the pocket and get that 7 out every time. And that is a half board left with your feet. So we're going to keep our target at the 16 board. We're just going to move half left with our feet. Tiny little adjustment here. And boom. Hit exactly where I wanted to, 16 to 8. Made that half board left with my feet. And because of that, it went through the pins spectacular. Got out that 10 pin and got out that pesky 7 pin that sometimes wants to stand too. So I think we're doing great. So now you might ask, how do I know when I need to move if I don't know if I threw a good shot or a bad shot? Well, if you weren't paying attention and you don't know if you threw a good shot or a bad shot, then what you should do is stay there, throw another shot, and if it's a good shot and it does not strike, then you should consider adjusting. And if it's a bad shot still, but it does strike or anything like that, even if it doesn't strike, I would stay there. If you're missing marginally, like big misses, I would stay right there and then make a move after I throw a good shot. But we're gonna see right here, I'm gonna stay right there in that same spot and throw it in the same spot. So as you can see right there, it gets the 10 pin out and it looks great. Even Tony approves. So that looked really good. That was a really good shot. So now I'm going to show you guys one more shot, and that's the guy that wants to play the big hook on a house shot. The slow wheel, the big hook. I'm going to show you why that can be dangerous sometimes. So I'm going to make a big move left here and show you guys what it looks like. So we're going to be looking at 20. I'm going to slow wheel it. So you might say, okay, Daniel, that struck. So what's bad? Well, it was a good shot, just like I wanted to. I hit what I wanted to, and it looked good because I slowed it way down, played that big hook. The problem is, where is the miss room? So let's think about this. You've got all the oil in the middle there, and you've still got oil to the right of you because you're so far left that you're not throwing it into the dry. So let's think. Okay, what happens if I throw a shot and I miss right? Well, let's see. Right there. That was a really marginal miss. That was a really wide miss, but I did that to show you, okay, what happens if I miss to the right? Well, if you miss enough to the right, you're going to miss the head pin right, because there's so much oil in the middle part of the lane that by the time it gets to those dry boards, with a ball like this phase 2 here, which is an extremely versatile ball, it's not even going to have enough energy to get back to the head pin because it's in such a flood of oil in the first part of the lane. So then you might say, okay, well, what if I want to play the hold like we discussed earlier and I want to miss left every time? Well, let me show you what a miss left would look like playing this zone. Since you're so far left, you're going to hit the left side of the head pin and not even hit pocket. You're just going to hit a Brooklyn shot every time. Yeah, it carried, but you don't want to be that guy in league. So, because of that, I would say you're playing way too far left and you're decreasing your miss room by a lot. So instead, I'm going to throw one more shot from where that I would like to play on this pattern today to show you guys the point, and it's going to be a strike. So I'm going to move back to 16 right whenever we made that left half a board adjustment, and here we go. Perfect. All right, guys, so thank you for watching. I hope that this answered a lot of your questions regarding adjustments and how to play a typical house shot. I think it's a really good video and a really good topic of discussion for that exact point. So otherwise, be sure to subscribe below. Like I said earlier, we've got that number that we want to bump up. We want to get more people subscribed to this channel. You know, we're pushing a little over 700 right now, and we're on the way to 1,000, so I'm really happy with that. And I thank you guys for that. So be sure to do that. Leave a like down below. So guys, I'll see you later. So I want to say thank you for watching. That's it for today's video. Once again, be sure to subscribe down below if you're new or if you haven't yet. And yeah, thanks again, guys. Comment down below what you learned from this video, if you thought that it was accurate, if you agree with it. So yeah, and make sure to leave a like down below too. Let's get some likes on this video, guys. And be sure to check out some more videos on my channel. I've got plenty of informational videos. I did a series last year called In the Pro Shop, where I had pros like AJ Johnson come down, and he worked on a video with me and was in a video giving tips and just totally various ways on how to improve your bowling score. So guys, be sure to check those out. There's a link in your top right corner of your screen right now to check those out, so be sure to. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.